Today I'm going to share my tips and techniques to using one decorative die for your Christmas cards, plus you can also use it for all occasions. The versatility and the tips that you can use to create simple yet elegant Christmas cards is absolutely amazing. Join me and we'll have some fun learning these techniques together. The Starry Night Decorative Die can be used so many different and versatile ways. So we're going to start out by using some cutting techniques with the doily. So when you put this on to your cardstock, you can run it through lengthwise so you get a better cut on your machine. So we're just going to go ahead and just run this through and do a basic cut. I am going to put a shim on top to just give a little bit more pressure. So when it's running through, so that gives a good cut. Comes out on the other side, we'll see how everything is cut, see if we need to run it through again. Sometimes you do, depending on a machine that you have, but you'll see that this is very beautifully cut out and it's ready to use just by itself, or you can also make a beautiful doily. So you'd go ahead, use your this tool, the Spellbinders Tool N One, just pop out all those extra decorative pieces, and you'll have a half piece like this. Or you can also see how we use it on this card. But we're going to show you how you can also flip this around and make it a full doily. To get a complete doily, you could just piece two pieces together, or if you want to, you can just flip your die the opposite way, and you can kind of temporarily tack it around, but then to line it up, I do look at it from the back, and I'm just going to pull that off because I had kind of lined that up. And I look for that blade right in here. It might be a little bit hard to see that, but there's a blade right in between these notches that you'll just push up so you just barely see that blade. And once everything is lined up on both ends, you can just go ahead and press down the paper on the opposite side, and that will give you a great cut. So again, I'm just going to pop this into my machine. This is a little bit wider. I'm going to trim off this edge over here so that we can run that through lengthwise. So pop that in. Put one shim on the top. You may or may not need to do this with your machine, but then we'll just run that through, and that will create that beautiful double doily that you can use for your Christmas cards or just some fun all occasion cards. So you really have a lot of fun options with this one. So you'll just go ahead and pop that out. Do you see how perfect that is? So if you use the back as an alignment, you'll have that beautiful, perfect doily every single time. Within this die set, there is also a beautiful border that's very versatile. So you can see here we did a double border, or you can also use it as a side border for your basic card fronts. So what I did here is I'm going to show you how to do a double border. I just laid the die down, ran it through one time, and then if you want to do a double border like we did on this card, this would make beautiful lace strips for just one piece along the end of a card. You can have a lot of fun with that. But you'll just lay this on top, and I typically, when I look to line this one up, I will add a little bit of depth in the center, but you can kind of adjust that width. So you'll see that the edge of this die is really in proportion with this, and I'll always make sure that the end is lined up exactly the way I started that. So we're going to go ahead and run that through. Just cut that out. Since this is a very narrow lace strip, typically you don't need a shim. You can try it out in your machine, see how yours does with that. One thing I really like about these decorative dies is they release from the paper very, very beautifully. So just like that, you have this beautiful border that you can just snip off both ends. And this one I see is offset just a little bit, but if you just trim that off, you really don't notice it in the final piece. So you can kind of put some pearls in the center like I did here. That really kind of helps offset that as well. It's really fun how many different ways you can use this die. So I have 6 cards and they're all used different ways. So here you have the double border. Here you have the border on both sides. On this card, I used it on both sides, but on a mirror paper. So you can really have some fun experimenting with different backgrounds. Here's the half doily on an A2. That's a 4.5 by 5.25 size card. Just going up and down with a clear cardstock backer, so it really enhances that. And here I have that half doily going with a circle using the Candlelit Christmas stamp and die set. And then here you have the full one, so you can do lots of different variations with that. The creative possibilities with this die are endless. I can't wait to see what you create. You can share your projects with us on Facebook. And if you don't have this die yet, I've added the link below for quick and easy ordering, so get yours today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you next time. Bye.